A lost princess whose only desire is to see the Lantern Festival meets the clumsy guy who runs after money. They unknowingly fall in love and want to spend the rest of their lives together. However, the whole kingdom is against this love story. Once upon a time, a single drop of sunlight fell from the heavens and grew a magic golden flower. It had the ability to heal the sick and injured. Centuries passed and a huge kingdom was constructed just a few miles away from the magic flower. The kingdom was ruled by a beloved king and queen. And the queen was about to have a baby, but she fell seriously ill. She was running out of time, so the people started to look for the magic golden flower. Meanwhile, a woman named Gothel found the flower but didn't want to share it and hoarded its healing power to keep herself young for hundreds of years. And all she had to do was sing a special song. But one day, the royal guards found the flower and took it to the queen. By eating the golden flower, the queen was healed. A healthy baby girl was born who had the most beautiful golden hair. To celebrate her birth, the king and queen launched a flying lantern into the sky. Their happiness wasn't for long. Gothel broke into the castle and realized that the princess's hair has the same power as the magic flower. She cut a strand, but the hair loses its power when cut, so Gothel kidnapped the child. The kingdom searched everywhere, but they could not find the princess. But deep within the forest, in a hidden tower, Gothel raised the child as her own and named her Rapunzel. She was determined to keep her hidden and told her that the outside world is a dangerous place, filled with horrible, selfish people. But the walls of that tower could not hide everything. Each year, on her birthday, the king and queen released thousands of lanterns into the sky in hope that one day their lost princess would return. Rapunzel always felt a connection with them but didn't know why. Several years have passed and Rapunzel has grown into a gorgeous young lady. Gothel never cut her hair to keep its power. Therefore, Rapunzel's hair has grown to almost the same length as the tower height. She is locked in the top floor of the tower, and the only friend she has is a chameleon. All day, Rapunzel tries to keep herself busy by doing random chores and cooking food. When she gets bored, she starts singing and dancing and sometimes painting her fantasies. Her favorite one is the painting of lanterns, which she calls floating lights. She is turning 18 tomorrow, and the floating lights appear on her every birthday. But this time, Rapunzel wants to have a closer look and decides to ask her mother to take her outside. After a while, Gothel arrives and asks Rapunzel to hang her hair down. Gothel uses them to reach the top floor. Rapunzel reminds her about her birthday, and as a birthday gift, she wants a chance to see the floating lights in person. It always happens on her birthday, and she can't help but feel like they are meant for her. Gothel gets upset on hearing that Rapunzel wants to step out of the castle. She tells her that Mother knows the best for her and keeps her in the tower for safety. Gothel lists down a bunch of monsters and deadly animals Rapunzel can face outside the tower, so she must never leave. Like an obedient child, Rapunzel agrees to her mother's orders. Meanwhile, just a few miles away in the kingdom, a young thief named Flynn teams up with two thugs to steal a precious crown from the palace. The royal guards are after them and follow them to the forest. Flynn asks the thugs to help him climb a cliff, but as he gets on the top, he betrays the thugs and runs away with the crown. He leaves behind all the guards, but the royal horse Maximus doesn't get tired of chasing. The bag with the crown gets stuck on a tree branch over a cliff, and both Flynn and Maximus rush to get it. The branch can't handle the weight and breaks. Maximus survives the fall and keeps looking for the thief. Flynn hides behind a stone and accidentally finds the secret passage that leads him to the tower where Rapunzel lives. Flynn assumes that no one will be living in such an abandoned place, so he climbs in the tower to hide. Rapunzel gets scared to see him and hits him with a frying pan. She observes him closely and then starts celebrating her bravery. Rapunzel hides the guy in her closet and waits for her mother to come back. Rapunzel wants to prove that she is old enough to protect herself, so Gothel may allow her to go outside. After a while, Gothel arrives with some ingredients and decides to cook Rapunzel's favorite soup. Rapunzel tries to tell her about Flynn, but Gothel doesn't want to listen to anything related to going outside and starts shouting at Rapunzel. The poor girl gets heartbroken and changes her birthday wish. She asks her mother to bring her white seashells that are used to make paint. Gothel doesn't want Rapunzel to get upset and think about running away, so she agrees to bring the seashells. It will take 3 days for her to return, and she advises Rapunzel to take care of herself. Once Gothel leaves, Rapunzel takes Flynn out of the cupboard and ties him up with her hair. Rapunzel has a deal for him. She will return his bag only if Flynn takes her to show the floating lights and bring her back to the tower safely. Flynn agrees to the deal, and they get down from the tower. It's Rapunzel's first time touching the grass and stepping in the river. She is having mixed emotions. For a moment, she enjoys the freedom, and the next moment, she starts regretting her decision about deceiving her mother like this. Flynn notices her condition and tries to get rid of her by making her emotional. He says that her behavior is going to break her mother's heart and tear her soul, but Rapunzel still has time to fix everything. However, Rapunzel doesn't fall for this trick, and she is determined to see the lanterns at any cost. To scare her a little more, Flynn takes her to a bar which is full of deadly thugs and goons. This plan backfires Flynn, and the goons recognize him as the wanted criminal. They want to hand over Flynn to the guards and get the prize money. Rapunzel gets in the way and explains that she needs Flynn to fulfill her one and only dream. Her words remind the goons of their own dreams, though they ended up as criminals but had dreams to live a peaceful life. Someone wanted to be a musician, someone wanted to be a cook, and so on. They start singing a song to express their emotions. Meanwhile, Gothel notices Maximus in the forest and gets worried that someone has found out about the tower. She rushes to check on Rapunzel and panics on not seeing her. Gothel finds Flynn's bag and his picture inside it. She rushes to the bar and waits for a chance to get back Rapunzel. The royal guards also reach there to arrest Flynn, but a kind goon helps Flynn and Rapunzel escape through a secret tunnel. Maximus arrives and uses his powerful sense of smell to locate the secret tunnel. Rapunzel and Flynn reach the other end and they use her hair to escape the guards. They keep running continuously, but the guards are still after them. They reach the dam and it breaks by the huge weight. Rapunzel and Flynn flow away with water and get stuck in a cave. The water is filled up to their neck and it's too dark to find an exit. Before dying, Flynn wants someone to know that his real name is Eugene. Rapunzel also wants to share a secret and says that her hair glows when she sings a specific song. Realization hits her and she starts singing. The hair glows and they use the light to find a way out. After getting out of the river, they decide to rest until the next morning. Rapunzel takes this chance to reveal another secret. She wraps her hair around Eugene's injured hand and starts singing. The hair glows and magically heals the wound. Rapunzel also reveals the story Gothel told her about the hair. When she was a baby, people tried cutting her hair to use it for themselves. But when it is cut, it turns brown and loses its power. That's why she was kept locked away to stay protected. Now it's Eugene's turn to share his story. He was a poor orphan kid, but someone read him stories about a man named Flynn who had everything that Eugene can only dream of. That's why he changed his name in hope of getting a better fate. But of course it didn't work. While they are sharing their secrets, Gothel is observing them closely. She has also met the thugs whom Eugene betrayed and offered to give them a huge prize if they help her. When Eugene goes to collect more wood, Gothel meets Rapunzel to tell her that Eugene is a greedy man who only wants the crown. Rapunzel refuses to accept that as she thinks Eugene likes her for real. Gothel doesn't want to forcefully take her back, but teach her a lesson she wouldn't forget. She gives Rapunzel the bag with the crown and asks her to test Eugene's loyalty. The next morning, Maximus eventually finds Eugene, but Rapunzel begs him to stay calm until she has fulfilled her dream. They get to the kingdom, but Rapunzel's hair keeps getting tangled here and there. To solve this problem, Eugene asks some little girls to braid Rapunzel's hair. It gets more manageable, and Rapunzel can walk and dance freely. The whole kingdom is in festive spirit, as it's the lost princess's birthday. Rapunzel doesn't know she's that lost princess and keeps dancing with the public. When the night sets in, Eugene takes Rapunzel in a boat to help her see the lanterns closely. She is afraid that what if the lanterns don't turn out as she dreamed them of, but Eugene advises her not to worry. She can always find another dream. After a while, the king and queen lights the first lantern in hope of finding their daughter one day. The public also lights their lanterns and they gather above the lake. Eugene has 2 lanterns as well and lights them up with Rapunzel. They keep staring into each other's eyes and draw closer. Eugene notices the thugs at the shore and tells Rapunzel that he has an urgent matter to take care of. He grabs his bag and promises to come back soon. He gives the crown to the thugs as he doesn't want anything else after finding his true love, Rapunzel. However, the thugs still don't let him go. After a while, they meet Rapunzel and tell her that Eugene traded her for the crown. Rapunzel can see by herself that Eugene is rushing away in a boat. Before the thugs can catch her, Gothel reaches there to save her. He takes Rapunzel back to the tower and tells her to remember that the world outside is just full of selfish and dangerous people. Rapunzel is suffering from heartbreak and stares continuously at the kingdom's flag she brought with her. Rapunzel suddenly notices that she unintentionally drew the flag's symbol in all of her paintings. She unlocks her childhood memories and finally realizes that she is the lost princess. She confronts Gothel and tells her that she is the only one Rapunzel should have been afraid of. After knowing that she can't play the mother role anymore, Gothel decides to use her evil tactics to keep Rapunzel trapped in the tower. Meanwhile, Eugene reaches the palace. He never intended to betray Rapunzel. The goons tied him up and pushed him towards the palace. The royal guards capture him and take him for execution. He meets the goons in the prison and gets to know that Gothel is the real evil. He must save Rapunzel. Luckily, Maximus is on their side. He brings all of their friends from the bar and they help Eugene escape. He rides Maximus to the tower and asks Rapunzel to throw down her hair. When he climbs up, he finds Rapunzel tied up in chains. Before he can do anything, Gothel stabs him with a sharp knife. Then she starts dragging Rapunzel to lock her in the dungeon. Rapunzel says that she will keep trying to run away again and again, but if Gothel lets her heal Eugene, she will become her slave. Gothel likes the deal and lets Rapunzel go. Eugene stops her as he doesn't want Rapunzel to spend her life as a slave. Rapunzel doesn't listen and grabs her hair to heal Eugene, but all of a sudden, he cuts off her hair. They lose power and Gothel becomes the old lady she is. She starts to panic and accidentally falls down from the window. Rapunzel starts crying and her tears magically heals Eugene. He opens his eyes and tells Rapunzel that she is her dream, and Rapunzel's dream is Eugene. They travel back to the palace, and Rapunzel finally meets her real parents. A week-long celebration is done in joy of finding the lost princess. Eugene confesses his love and asks Rapunzel's hand in marriage, to which she delightfully says yes, and they live happily ever after.